US President Donald Trump has declared a national emergency in response to COVID-19. The decision unlocks funding for states to help with disaster relief.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words. The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of very important and a large amount of money for states and territories and localities in our shared fight against this disease. In furtherance of the order, I'm urging every state to set up emergency operation centers effective immediately.
President Trump has ordered all 50 states to activate contingency plans. 500,000 coronavirus tests will be made available next week. As Amanda Walker explains, the president will be tested for coronavirus after coming into contact with an official who returned a positive result.
It's not information that he offered up. He was pushed on it by a journalist at this news conference, and it's been a question that's been asked for days, ever since we knew the president had had access and interaction with somebody who had tested positive for coronavirus, a Brazilian official. And the question was repeatedly asked to the White House, is the president going to be tested? The answer was no, he doesn't need to be. He answered the question himself today, saying he most likely would be tested. And that was before he had repeatedly said that no one should be tested unless they were showing symptoms. So expressing sort of any element of doubt there does really bring into question why the president was there shaking hands with so many of these CEOs, medical experts, sharing a microphone with them. This whole briefing today was about a show of strength, in contrast to his solo address to the nation on Wednesday night in the Oval Office, which largely did not go down well, was seen as confusing and lacking clarity. This certainly gave that sense of a show of strength, and lots of various agencies and corporations being involved in this effort. Testing has been the big issue here. Inadequate testing, not enough of it, and when it happens, the results not coming through quickly enough. The president was asked, do you take responsibility for that? And he said no, he takes no responsibility for it and sees no real problem with the way things have panned out so far. But this emergency situation now is really about cutting through the red tape, about allowing states to have access to lots of money to tackle this as quickly as possible. And as Dr. Fauci said, who was speaking, he's leading the coronavirus task force, he said it's all about trying to make this end sooner than it would. And interestingly, just as a side note, he was asked earlier today, if you have been close to somebody who has tested positive, should you self-isolate and should you be tested, which essentially is what has happened to the president? His answer to that was yes.